Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice.
As required.
Recall.
Checked.
Flaps verified. Auto brake RTO. Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Ready for taxi flow.
Sure. Ready.
Let's go. That's not too bad. So it's a short taxi, just going to 3 to right, which is basically ahead and then to the left hand side. So it's a short taxi. Takeoff review flow.
Yes, Captain. Flaps as required. Runway correct. V2 set. VFD and runway track correct. Initial altitude set. Trim set. FMC set. Transponder for the cabin.
Okay, so we are waiting for the cabin. You cannot say waiting, so you go for the cabin. So here we are. I will turn the second left onto Bravo 13 and then Alpha 11. So that's Bravo 13 coming up. Hopefully we'll get the cabin ready. Signal. Here is. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Set.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Runway entry flow.
Roger.
Approaching 3, 2, right.
Cabin crew prepare for takeoff.
On runway 3, 2, right.
Let's go. Got thrust rev, hold, past 80 knots.
V1, rotate.
Gear up.
Gear coming up. Gear up and locked.
So at 3,000 feet, the FMC is gonna command the acceleration. So the nose of the aircraft is gonna be commanded to go down a little bit, and then we can accelerate and retract the flaps. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5 selected.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1 selected.
Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
After takeoff, checklist.
After takeoff, checklist. Flaps verified. Landing gear up. Flaps up. After takeoff, checklist complete.
$10,000 climbing flow.
Okay. Seat belt sign on auto.
Seatbelt sign auto.
Seatbelt signs auto.
Cool, off we go. So it looks like we're gonna get to Jakarta when it's dark. The sun is already setting. It's almost 6 o'clock in the evening in Malaysia, so nice. Cool, here we go. It's 1 hour and a half criminal network. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Take care. Have a good Sunday. See you soon. So let's see, 370. Yeah. Give ourselves a little shortcut, which I'm sure they would give us in real. We are already high over the airport, 14,500 feet, so if we cut across the arrival paths coming this way there, that's not a problem. Here we are. Nice. Very nice textures all the way around. Wow. Approaching 21,000, so we go all the way up to 370. That's pretty much it. So the weather actually around here is not too bad. It's usually quite wet. Quite often a few thunderstorms and stuff, but today it doesn't look too bad actually. It's fairly clear, just a few clouds. If of course the weather created by active sky is fairly accurate, it's at the end of the day it's only a simulation, but I trust usually it's quite good, so there's not much in terms of weather today. So. Hey Squirrel, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Well, almost afternoon. How are you doing today? You're good? So basically the route today is gonna take us along the Strait of Malacca, if that's the correct name for it. I believe it is, but I might be wrong. And yeah, going along the Strait of Malacca and passing, just leaving Singapore on the left hand side, and then going down the northern part of Indonesia towards Jakarta, which is on the if you have a rough picture in your head of the way Indonesia is laying, is the second kind of island a little bit further south, the northern island being along the Strait of Malacca as well. So it's a fairly quick route. Obviously the KLM flight is coming from all the way from Amsterdam, so it's a two-leg flight, stopping in Kuala Lumpur first and then continuing to Jakarta. So I think it's gonna be a nighttime arrival in Jakarta. But as I always say, I quite like to fly in real time, so depending on the part of the world you're flying in, then obviously it might be nighttime or daytime, or kind of at dawn or at dusk. So but I quite like the real time thing, so that's why. So you could see actually for the weight of the aircraft, the assumed temperature we chose for takeoff was probably too much, because the aircraft accelerated fairly quickly. Well, yeah, actually the takeoff weight was under like 240 tons, so the aircraft accelerated fairly quickly, and then during the initial climb accelerated also quicker than usual. So that shows you that there was too much performance, but it doesn't really matter. It's just, as I said, we can't really. I don't have the performance calculations with me here, so I just eyeball it. Yeah, I've been fairly busy recently. Today I'm around, obviously, so. I thought I would pop up and do a little flight. I tried, as I explained earlier on, I tried to incorporate the flight planning into the stream with PFPX and show you guys how I kind of prepare the flight plans. I actually wanted to put the flight plan online if you were interested to see the actual flight plan, but I've not come to that. I've been rushing ahead with the network problems and all that stuff today, so the main thing is that I'm now streaming and the flight is gone ahead, so that's quite good. Yeah, it's true. It's better to have too much performance than not enough. It's absolutely true. So yeah, so it's a little bit of trial and error. So next time I will try to incorporate the flight planning as well, if that's of interest to you guys, and then run the flight. I think I've said that before, but I quite like the flight planning side of things, I think it's quite interesting. I've done my own template of flight plan for PFPX, so I'm trying to run that as well, and it's working quite well. It's taken me a little bit of time to work it out, but it's I've got the elements I kind of need for the flight plan, so that's quite good. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Boeing T7. Welcome on board. Like always today on the KLM 777-300ER. Which I believe is the aircraft most of the time, at least, used on the route. It's you can imagine from Amsterdam, it's a fairly long route. I'm not sure if they would be able to do it in one go, to tell the truth. It's a little bit far, but also maybe I'm not sure that we would need to calculate it, like maybe for example with PFPX, and see if we could do it direct. We probably could do it direct actually, but I guess for commercial reasons they do it in two goes, so stop in Kuala Lumpur first and then continue onwards to Jakarta. Maybe the loads are not good enough to go all the way to Jakarta and all the way to Kuala Lumpur on two different flights, so they group the two destinations together and do two flights. I guess also the flight crew and the cabin crew probably stop in Kuala Lumpur first, have a bit of a layover, and then maybe do a shuttle to Jakarta, or even maybe stay in Jakarta and then again layover at Kuala Lumpur before flying back to Amsterdam. So 1,000 feet to go. Yeah, I'll definitely try to post the flight plan. I'll pull it on Dropbox, and I'll put a link at some point. I won't do it today because I'm not gonna faff about with the computers, and you see what I mean. But next time I'll try to do that today, because I wasted a little bit of time then. I didn't have the opportunity to do it. So just by leveling off 370. So what we usually do, it's not a compulsory thing to do, but what we usually do is have a look at, for example, the engine out. There's not gonna be any engine failures today, don't worry. I've not enabled the failures, so no carry on today. And yeah, we note the altitude the FMC gives us for the drift down, so flight level 281 in this instance. So because we're flying on an odd flight level number in this direction, we'll take it down one notch, so 270. And the speed will be 242 knots. So if we look at the PFD, 242 knots will be about here, so we've got about 30 knots to lose. So if an engine fails, there's no rush at all. The good engine would add maximum power to start with, and the speed here would slowly bleed off, so that will give you time to configure everything here and in the FMC, and also on the MCP there, the mode control panel, and slowly get organized to fly the drift down. So there would be no rush at all. And what we would do as well is check for any terrain in the surrounding area. Around here is fairly flat, but then we've got some mountains over Indonesia, so that's something to consider as well. But initially over the Strait of Malacca, there's no there's no terrain to speak of. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we can update the winds and the FMC, but at the moment we don't really need to do that. And yeah, just check the fuel at the top of climb and settle down for the flight. This one obviously is fairly short, so we don't have much time to sit around in the cruise, but otherwise if you have 6+ hour flight, then you can slowly settle down, put all the charts away and stuff, and have a coffee of some sort or a cup of tea and just chill out.